Hello everyone, I'm Carla Macias and welcome to another edition of the Best Docs Network featuring Forest Park Medical Center right here in San Antonio. In the next 30 minutes, we'll be hearing from some of the best doctors in your area, as well as what you'll experience at Forest Park Medical Center. Now let's jump into our first doctor, Dr. Jose Barrera, who's not only an otolaryngologist, but also a facial plastic surgeon.
Sleep apnea or obstructive sleep apnea is a medical problem whereby the airway is obstructed, meaning that while patients are sleeping, either their palate or their tongue base fall back and obstruct the airway. Sometimes it's a craniofacial problem. The skeleton may be small. Sometimes it has to do with the tissues inside the airway being too large.
I had been having headaches during the day. I work out quite a bit and I didn't feel I was getting the benefits of my workout. I was always tired. My family physician asked me to take a sleep study, and it was then discovered that I had sleep apnea. I was wearing a CPAP machine for about 2 years. It was uncomfortable. It was not something that I enjoyed, but I knew the importance of sleep. As I'm sleeping, I got a panic attack. I'm 45 years old and I'm getting this attack that I've never gotten in my life.
And these panic attacks really inhibited him from sleeping, and so he'd wake up after struggling and wrestling with the machine all night, very tired. And he had to travel, and he had to go take care of his clients and take care of his workers, and really was not satisfied with this type of treatment. Upon evaluation, we performed an endoscopy. We put a small camera in through his nose and looked at his airway and found that he had obstructive symptoms secondary to both palate collapse as well as tongue-based collapse. And so we offered him a combination therapy to improve his nasal breathing, which included doing nasal reconstruction, doing palate reconstruction, and doing a jaw advancement surgery.
He felt that surgery could enhance that and felt that I would be a good candidate for the surgery. I told him that from everything that I had read, I felt comfortable having the surgery, and we chose to do the surgery.
We performed all these operations for him, and he had a successful outcome. He feels refreshed. He no longer feels stressed like he was before. He sleeps quietly, he wakes up with energy, and he no longer experiences panic attacks.
You don't always run across people in this world that truly care, and Dr. Barrera truly cares.
What's been so rewarding for me to be involved with Forest Park is that I've been in the business of helping physicians manage hospitals for 25 years, and I have seen all the various models that have been associated over that period of time. I've been involved in many different kinds of models, and it's been a pleasure for me to implement the model that I think works the best in this business, and that is the majority physician-owned model where the physicians are in control and govern their own hospital and have business partners like me who come in and help them run that business. But we focus on running the hospital the way that the unique aspects of that medical staff wants their hospital to be run.
With the help of the doctors here and at all of our hospitals, we recruit the very best people in all different lines of work, from the OR technicians, the floor nurses, the quality directors. Everyone who walks through this hospital has been very carefully considered. This basically gives our patients the best possible experience. They walk into this place and very quickly are eased of a lot of the stresses of surgery that you get in a cold, sterile hospital environment. The people are very friendly, the place is very welcoming all around them, and of course the quality of care is unsurpassed.
What Forest Park means to a physician is that it provides a place for that physician to practice medicine where he or she is much more in control of their destiny, much more in control of the atmosphere that they practice medicine in. We provide our physicians with dedicated teams of nurses in the operating room who become familiar with the type of surgery that the physician does. That makes the surgery go much quicker, enables us to get the room turned over quicker between cases so that the physicians can get more cases done. All of the physicians that I talk to tell me that they are able to get more cases done and in a more efficient manner than any other hospital they practice medicine in.
As a physician, a surgeon actually practicing here, we start your cases on time. Our turnover is very efficient. We have top quality staff to provide you with the people and the equipment necessary to really be state-of-the-art in everything you do.
The things that make Forest Park unique are our focus on what's best for the patient and what's best for the physician. We're different in many ways than other organizations because our physicians are our owners, they are our bosses. And to that end, we want to do whatever we can to be sure that they get their needs met.
We're here for them, they're here for their patients. And working together, and we're not fighting a bureaucracy, we're not fighting a corporate office that's not even in the same state as us sometimes. We're making what's best for this hospital at this moment at that time. We don't have to wait, and that's what our physicians like, immediate results.
As new things become available, like the Mako robot, some of the new technologies, Forest Park's very quick to want to be a part of those things. If that's something that our surgeon wants or feels like would benefit his patient population, we're willing to do that for them. And that's exciting to have an organization that leaps forward that quickly.
It is just very much more collaborative. They're very involved in their choice of equipment. We try to involve them in any major decisions so that they feel that they have a buy-in to this, they're part of it. One of the physicians said to me the other day, I feel like I've worked with this team for years because they just got the flow down. It just works.
Did you know that in 2011, Forest Park Medical Center was voted as one of the top 20 most beautiful hospitals in the United States? Also, Forest Park Medical Centers were the only hospital in Texas to make this prestigious list. Best Docs Network featuring Forest Park Medical Center. Welcome to the 21st century of cutting-edge medicine. Forest Park Medical Center. Vicki has a question for Dr. Kathleen Hands. Is my thyroid causing me to gain weight?
Thyroid does not cause you to gain weight, not fat weight. Thyroid is what helps your heartbeat. It's how your brain synapses come together so you remember how to drive a car. It's that your skin sheds. It's how you exchange oxygen. It's how your organs function. But it has nothing to do with fat. When you gain weight from having an underactive thyroid, it's because your kidneys are not excreting urine. And so you retain 2 or 3 pounds of water weight. As soon as you correct the thyroid function, you lose the 2 or 3 pounds of water. But it has nothing to do with fat. Fat is a result of insulin resistance, and if you're overweight, you have too much insulin, and insulin makes fat. So the more fat you have, the higher your insulin level is, and the best way to get rid of that is to cut your carbohydrate intake and eat more protein.
Dr. Christopher Cantrell is a renowned urologist here in the San Antonio area. Now let's hear about his methods on practicing medicine.
My method of practicing medicine is I think of every patient I see as my mom, my dad, or my brother or my sister. And whenever I approach any problem that they have, I try and think of what would I want my family member to have done for them. And I kind of feel you never can go wrong if you're treating somebody like your own family. You're going to make the right decision for them. I think we really just try and do the best that we can with every patient and make sure that they not only get the best treatment available, but understand the treatments that there are for them. Trying to always be courteous, trying to provide fast care and be there and available when they need us and know that we actually care about them. I really stress that a lot in my clinic, and I think we do a really good job of that.
For more information on Forest Park Medical Center and their doctors, head over to our website, bestdocsnetwork.com, and click on that Forest Park Medical Center tab. Not only at Forest Park Medical Center, doctors helping those in our community, but also around the world, as we see with Dr. Heidi as he changes lives in Haiti.
In 2010, Haiti suffered a big earthquake. I think it was 7.0 on the Richter scale. And it was devastating for a couple of reasons. It's the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere, and the infrastructure is really poor. The buildings don't have codes for earthquakes or anything like that. So when the earthquake hit, I mean, everything just fell apart. And then being economically poor, they really don't have the infrastructure to respond to any kind of emergency like that. They don't have ambulances and fire trucks. They don't have construction equipment all over the place. So it was very difficult for them to respond to that. So one of the first responders, if you will, to the situation was a medical team from Forest Park Medical Center. They went down to provide medical assistance in evacuating people, triaging people, and of course providing treatment, bringing doctors and nurses and supplies and equipment. That, in conjunction with one of the charities down there, turned into a regular visit where with Sacré-Cœur, which is the hospital down there, we would send a team and participate in surgeries on a regular basis. They would get patients that needed surgery ready. When the team arrived, they'd spend a week basically operating day and night to treat the cases that otherwise would have been too complex to treat in Haiti. So in the United States, we have a very robust system. It's very refined. There's safety protocols everywhere. Everything's disposable, so nothing gets reused. But in Haiti, it's the polar opposite. You're operating in a hospital that's an open air hospital. There's no air conditioning. The one air conditioner that is in the hospital is in the operative suite because under gowns and stuff it gets very hot. But it's a window air conditioner. The air's not filled. The instrumentation is very basic from the 1960s. Everything that they have is something that's been designated from a first world country. Well, this is a great opportunity to do what doctors really want to do. I mean, this is why you become a physician, because you have this overwhelming compassion. Anytime you see somebody that is hurting or is sick or is in pain, you want to help them, no matter what it takes. I mean, sometimes it becomes a downfall, but in this situation, you're able to go to a country and really give them something that they really never had access to. And in 100 years, they probably wouldn't get to it because it's such an economically poor country. I mean, when you go there, you see it's open sewer systems. The water they get out of the mountainside basically running down, and who knows whether it's clean or not. Again, the infrastructure is terrible. The buildings are half completed. There's no disposal system. Trash is everywhere, and it may not have been like that before the earthquake, but certainly it is now. They have basically paralyzed all the infrastructure to the entire country. We're able to go in there and just help with those situations, using the expertise that we have. Well, Forest Park has really been, I think, a leader in helping out. When this disaster occurred, of course, there were other hospitals that sent back teams, and there are other hospitals around the United States that sends teams as well. But in the Metroplex, Forest Park has been the one that's routinely gone back to help out, to bring supplies, to lean on our vendors who have been very helpful in when we upgrade our equipment, for instance, we can take that and use that for the Haiti missions. It's shown a remarkable sense of leadership and a remarkable sense of the responsibility that it is to be in the healthcare field for Forest Park to go down there and participate the way they have, not just initially, but on a regular basis.
Best Docs Network featuring Forest Park Medical Center. Forest Park Medical Center, extraordinary in every way.
Here at Forest Park Medical Center, not only did we look locally, but we looked nationwide for the top managers, directors, and employees. And not only did we focus on their experience, but we focused on customer service, because customer service is our #1 thing that we look for, because we want to treat our patients exceptionally.
What impressed me the most about the facility is that they picked the top of the staff that they could find. And most of the staff have years and years of experience. So when people come here, they're getting the best care possible.
We were very fortunate. We had a large candidate pool, a lot of applicants that were very interested in working at Forest Park. So we were able to hire the best and the brightest. And it was an exciting opportunity to work through all the interviews and really look to focus on not only finding that clinical excellence in knowledge and experience coming from our staff, but also those that were really focused on customer service, those that really wanted to provide patients with that outstanding care, those that really wanted to treat patients as if they were their own family members.
We are a surgical specialty hospital, and our length of stay is less than 2 days. So we are able to allow our patients to be discharged at less than 2 days due to our excellent nursing ratios that we have, which is 4:1, and that's an outstanding patient ratio that we have, so we can really focus on the patient and their needs.
Getting what we need for the patients is the most important thing, and seeing to the needs of the patients as quick as we can is the most important thing that all of the staff has in common here. We want the recovery to be excellent. We want them to be well, we want them to feel needed, we want them to feel like they get the care that they're paying for.
I really enjoy the atmosphere at Forest Park. It's very positive, and I'm glad that I'm with the Forest Park family. It's a great place to work and a great place to be.
One of the priorities that we have as an office, as family physicians, is to associate ourselves with the best hospital delivery systems in the city. And I feel, and my organization feel, that Forest Park represents that for the city of San Antonio.
This is the opportunity to give patients the exact care I'd want for myself, for my wife, for my children, and do it in a setting that they will find charming, relaxing, and restful, which we can't always say about trips to the hospital.
I was very excited to be approached by Forest Park to be part of this organization, because they really care about quality. They really care about getting the best possible people involved, so that they appreciate a proper assessment of patients so that they can do the right job in that OR suite. Their nurse to physician ratio for those patients who are in the hospital, phenomenal. No other institution has anything like that. I'm really looking forward to working with them here in San Antonio, because this is premier medicine at its best, where you can really do what's in the best interest of the patient without interference from outside sources.
I think the idea of having a hospital run by doctors is a good one. I think that you commonly hear complaints by doctors that the rules are made by people who don't understand what happens in a hospital or what happens with caring for patients. And I think that with this model, you're going to have physicians who are able to help fix those kinds of problems. And I think it's going to make not only for a better patient experience, but for better patient safety.
So it's an honor for me to associate my organization to Forest Park organization, because I believe that in San Antonio, in the hospital system, with the name and the quality of what Forest Park is creating, is needed for our patients. And to be successful, primary care physicians have to partner with the best hospitals in town. And Forest Park, in my opinion, going to be one of those organizations.
Did you know that Forest Park Medical Centers are designed and constructed to meet or exceed the standards of the U.S. Green Building Council's Leadership in Energy Environmental Design LEED program? The purpose of LEED is to reduce energy and resource consumption, minimize environmental impact, and provide healthier, more connected buildings. Throughout the building and grounds, you will see signs which highlight Forest Park's sustainable efforts.
From staff to surgeons to technology and technique, Forest Park Medical Center brings the best of the best to your area, just like San Antonio urologist Dr. Leroy Jones.
Initially, what began to happen is I was experiencing ED, erectile dysfunction. It was at the point that I couldn't maintain an erection. And we spent 5 years literally researching, trying to find an answer. After we found on the internet that the symptoms that I was having was related to Peyronie's, I finally saw a urologist who said that he was not an expert in ED, but he recommended that I call someone by the name of Dr. Jones.
Well, when a patient first presents with Peyronie's, we actually like to see him right away. I mean, typically what happens is that the guy will notice some curvature or his partner, and they're not really sure what's going on. And so we'll start out typically with oral therapy, and then depending on how the patient is doing, we may continue with that. If it's progressing or getting worse, then we'll do what's called intralesional therapy, and that's actually injection therapy. And then if that's not effective, then there's surgery, and there's some corrective surgery to straighten it out. And then lastly, penile prosthesis. So a lot of it just really depends on how bad the curvature is and when the patient gets to us.
So Dr. Jones confirmed my situation, and what was so encouraging, he says, you know, the problem that you have, you're not going to be able to fix yourself. But he says, I have a solution, and that solution was a penile implant.
He had his implant, and he did very well with it. So he's not from San Antonio. Drove in, had a surgery, still outpatient operation, stayed in a hotel, saw him back the next day, and went home. And he came back in 6 weeks, and we taught him how to use it, and with our staff, and it's changed his life. I mean, it's a different person. And the thing about implants is that most guys that get them, they always regret waiting.
After I had the procedure done, the results were really far exceeded any expectation that I have. So now my wife and I still have the emotional tie. Now we have that physical part of our life back that we enjoy.
Neil Richards Group has been the exclusive developer for Forest Park Medical Center, and San Antonio is our latest and greatest addition.
We're situated on top of a hill, so it truly acts as a beacon for Forest Park Medical Center San Antonio. It takes on that hill country-like feel, which is really one of the fundamental things in San Antonio.
Forest Park Medical Center San Antonio was designed very much to fit in with the local San Antonio architecture. It drafts themes off of the Texas Hill Country, so at completion, whenever you pull onto the campus, you're going to see a lot of heavy stones, a lot of drought-tolerant landscape, a lot of neutral colors, some wood and timbers there, as well as some metal and glass. The Forest Park Medical Center San Antonio campus has 80,000 square feet of available medical office space. It's Class A space, and it's on campus. It's right there at the front door of the hospital, so physicians who are interested in relocating their practice there can really reduce their commute time and just go to one single location on a weekly basis, and they can see their patients for exams and preoperative workups in the medical office space that they lease. And then on their other days, they can go right there to the hospital and do their surgical cases there in one location, as opposed to having to traverse all over greater San Antonio. Forest Park Medical Center campus consists of the Surgical Specialty Hospital, which is 154,000 square feet. There's 12 operating rooms and a total of 54 patient beds. It also has a 470-car parking garage, as well as 80,000 square foot Class A medical office building. Current progress in San Antonio on the construction side is still going exceptionally well. We've had great weather. and we're on target still to complete in May of 2014. Concrete pours are occurring daily right now. Our first elevated concrete pour was last Saturday, and we'll have one per week leading up to top out, which is in October.
One great thing about Forest Park is that they include the dining aspect or the food aspect as far as the patient care. Not only do they have great dietitians on site to make sure that the dietary needs are met for the patients, but they also consider the patient's family's needs as well. Let's face it, sometimes you're in a hospital, this facility, 6-7 hours, if not longer, sometimes overnight, sometimes 2 or 3 days. And it's not the typical food. We do everything from scratch, which means that we do everything from the starting point all the way to the finished product. We do pork tenderloin, we do roasted chickens, we do gourmet pizzas. We even do some things similar like grandma's meatloaf, but everything's made from scratch. We follow recipes, nothing comes out of a can. Our sauces are all made from scratch. When you walk into our dining facility here name is Cafe 114. It feels like a real cafe. You don't walk into it and it's the old type of tray line service here. Every single day the menu changes. So for example, one day you may have a carving station with a prime rib on it, and the next day on that carving station may be a baked potato bar, and the plate itself is a work of art. It's just not something that's piled on the plate and sent to the guest or sent to the patient. It's a work of art because, you know, you may not always come in here where you just on a clear liquid diet. You can actually have surgery where you can eat regular food. So we have to take those cases and we want them to feel like, you know what, this is unbelievable. This is not hospital food. We don't ever want to be stereotyped or categorized as hospital food. We are a cafe dining facility. You can get fresh grilled salmon, we have fresh tuna here, we have a fish of the week, we have grilled pork chops you can get, grilled chicken. Along with that, you can have that grilled, make your salad, give it to one of my grill cooks and we'll put it on the salad for you. It really starts with Chef Jason Douglas. This guy is absolutely amazing when it comes to food. He is truly an artist when it comes to the culinary aspect of it. He has an eye for making your food look so pretty and edible at the same time that you don't want to touch it because it looks so great. That's one element about dining service I don't have to worry about because I know when he's there that the guests, our patients, are going to get the absolute best that he has to offer every single day. So what we try to do is we try to be innovative with our food, very cost effective, but most importantly, we want a great quality of food. I have this saying that if it's not done in the spirit of excellence, we won't serve it.
Did you know Forest Park Medical Center at Frisco has executive chef Kevin Neff creating world-class dishes with his unique blend of flair rather than typical hospital food?
That'll do it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Best Docs Network featuring Forest Park Medical Center here in San Antonio. For more information on Forest Park Medical Center and their doctors, check out our website, bestdocsnetwork.com, and click on that Forest Park Medical Center tab. We would love to hear from you, so feel free to email us at info@bestdocsnetwork.com. So long, everybody. We'll see you next week.